Yeah, hi Abhi.
Yeah, hi Narayan. Sorry for the late. I don't know. I mean, it was going on. Go to the ALI part. So let's go here. So here first I'll go to the definition and then logistic execution.
Okay.
Okay. So we know that like logistic execution is having three part. Okay. Let me just open one Excel sheet. So suppose this is my logistic execution. We have warehouse management, we have shipping, and then we have a daily transportation. So we have a separate model called transportation management. We call as a TM. Okay,
Right.
that's totally detailed. The extension or deep dive version of this one. But here we just get the very a small snapshot, the glimpse of transportation management, how it works. So this daily transportation is nothing but the facilities given to interface with the third party transportation management or SAP transportation management. So it's like we call as a daily transportation or ECC transportation. This is
Mhm.
nothing but whenever you want to have a transportation management related integration, we can use this for an integration part. It's
Okay.
very small. I mean, just couple of hours session there. Uh, so
So
we
basically, this LE transportation is taken care by the SD guys, but we are linked with
uh,
that. Who is the main responsible for that?
no, I mean it's a part of ALI. So
LE. Okay.
whoever want or whoever knows, they can do that. But there is nothing such like SD or MM classify. Okay,
Okay.
anybody can do that.
Okay.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, if you want, I can just take one session on this, so you may get a better idea. This
Okay.
is basically once you create a shipment and you're going to transport. So the
Mhm.
transportation part can be tracked in the third party tool or in SAP transportation management. But you need to send few information from ECC to third party or SAP. Those transportation related information we are going to send through daily transportation.
Okay.
So say example, this is the box which is your ECC, and say this is another box which is say example SCM. So here you have a transportation management. There is another box which is say third party. So what happens is suppose you create a here sales order, then you create a delivery, then you create a shipment, and this shipment related details you will be able to send to your you know transportation management, and it's a bi-directional. So once they suppose they reach some milestone or some of the details. Suppose the transportation cost you're calculating, maybe you're calculating here, and again this cost can be sent it back by IDOC to ECC, and it will update your shipment as a shipment cost.
Okay.
Because maybe I'm having a multiple system which can be SAP or non-SAP, but
Mhm.
my finance is only in ECC, one consolidated system. So maybe I need a shipment cost and other financial aspect to be mapped in my ECC. Okay, so that is the reason these details will come here, and it will hit GL account. So you exactly know that your financial report in the same system, which is a good idea actually. One system for a finance. That could be one of the best ERP system we can create it. Okay, so this is the daily transportation. So now what we are going to do is we are going to create a new warehouse under the logistic execution.
Okay.
Okay, it's got logged out because of timeout. So let me already log in. So I'm going here in the enterprise structure, definitions, and then logistic execution and warehouse. Now for defining the warehouse, what we can do is like we can copy here, copy the warehouse. So what is the reference we copy that will be given by SAP? Like client we copy, that is 000. Company code, plant, and storage location we copy, that is a 0001. That is the standard given by SAP to copy.
Right.
Okay, as a reference. Even though the standard plant is 1000, but we always copy from 0001. Okay, so here in the warehouse also it is 001. So warehouse we can have a 3-digit alphanumeric code. That will be a unique number, just like a house number. It will be a warehouse number. So we can go here, and then we can copy from 001 to our destination. So I'm going to copy here. So I just given the warehouse number as a say Naren, and I'm just going to copy. So when I'm doing the copy, system is saying that in this function, both the number ranges, intervals, and the addresses are linked to the automatic recording of customizing chain. This means that existing number range, intervals, and the addresses for the organization unit may be handled and transported automatically.
Oh.
I'll tell you the moral of the story is what system is trying to say is once I'm going to copy, system will get copy all the number range and addresses. Okay, that number range address.
Okay.
Now once you transport, and it may conflict with the other number range.
Right.
Okay, so generally what we do is as a basis consultant, all the number range object we lock it, and we say that like better do not transport the number range, which is a standard practice. So now if I copy this warehouse, all the dependent associated number range will get copied. But while doing the transport, we is saying that it's better not to transport. This may cause error in the connection with the transport. You better create in the new number range in other environment. That's it. Okay. So we know that, right? Like we do not transport number range just to get this conflict. So now we know the reason, because you may have a same or similar kind of number range, or sometimes we have a third party tool, where we are getting the number or document number which may have the same number range. SAP doesn't have control.
Right.
So that's the reason we just take the global practice. We don't transport any number range. We just manually maintain in the during go live and all.
Yeah. Generally, we can have verified access to update in the production level, and each and every system independently we are updating the number, I guess.
Correct. So actually, anything can be done. All the configuration can be done in production. All the number range can be transported. So these are the global practice. The basis team, they will be locking those objects. So why we cannot create it? Transport it, because they will lock the object. Can we do the configuration in production? Yes, we can do. But what we do is like we say that this two environment, quality, production, lock all the object, and if you request it, they will give you the access also. Sometimes there is urgency, and you need to go and do the configuration directly in the production. You can do that.
Right. Yeah, I did the one time. the coding in the quality level, very long back. Coding also you can do
Yeah.
in a different system level. Yeah.
So that is not at all recommendable. That may lead to audit failure. That required, and most of the company require a topmost your ERP director approval, very special approval, and only for certain object, not for all. Just to avoid a big business loss, we can do that, but only for certain level. That activity we call as a client opening.
Okay.
So we send the email like, could you please open a client, production client, for 2 minutes? So you can go and you will be able to, change the configuration, and again it will get locked. Okay, so like that they do only for, and they'll give very specific object name, what you want to configure, and they'll give you the special ID. So no parallel access will be done, because if any transactions are going on, it may dump, all the transaction may fail. Okay, so now we can see that the warehouse got copied to NAR. So this is the way, like, we have created a new warehouse. Now we can go to the define warehouse system and we can rename.
Okay.
So maybe I can go here and I can just rename as a any description you want. You can just go and you can just rename that. So that's our warehouse. Now we have done with the definition phase. Now we need to go to the assignment phase, and in the assignment phase we need to go to logistic execution, and we need to do the pairing. So when I say pairing, means you need to do the combination of plant and storage location and define what will be your warehouse. Okay, so imagine I'm having multiple store location. Okay, so in the demo class we had seen that, like, it may happen is one of the storage location and plant is nothing but the warehouse managed. Okay, so in this case, maybe the first storage location is warehouse managed, other is inventory managed. So you need to just give the number which warehouse is warehouse managed. So here is the combinations. Okay, so for example, if I go here and I'm going to put, you can see these are the plant and these are the storage location which is warehouse managed. So say example, if I go here and maybe I can choose any number, say 118 I'm going to choose, and I'm going to say that it is nothing but the our warehouse. Okay, so that means you're telling the system whenever you're doing the config any transactions with the combination of plant 1000 and store location 0118, system will trigger the warehouse relevant transactions. That's the meaning. Okay. When I say plant and store location, that means if you're doing a MIGO, that means if you're doing the GR, system will trigger a WM related. If system will find this combination. If you're doing the PGI, say outbound delivery, and the plant and storage location is listed here in this table, system will trigger a warehouse related transaction, not a very conventional flow. So the bottom line is, always remember, whenever you are using this combination anywhere in SAP, plant and store location combination, if it is listed here in this table, system will trigger warehouse relevant flow. Okay, it's clear. So now we can save it. So now we are done with the definition and assignment. Okay, so now we'll go to the logistic execution specific settings. So I'll go here a little bit down, and there should be yeah, there is a node for logistic execution. Go here in logistic execution, and then we have a warehouse management. Go to the warehouse management, and then we have a master data. So first node is actually nothing. So you know uh, we need to go to the direct master data, and then we need to go to the define control parameters for warehouse. Again, here the first node having a nothing. Okay, so I'm going in the define control parameters for warehouse number. Okay, so here we'll just find our warehouse, and this is our warehouse. This we call as the control parameter of our warehouse. So here all the settings, whatever we see, that is a kind of default setting done at warehouse level.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, we can see that there is something called region codes. Region codes are nothing but it is useful when we are dealing with the hazardous material. We are dealing with the hazardous material handling, and that time only we use this region code. Now you can see that still it is a gray out because the configuration place is in different node. So we'll talk later on, but as of now you can just understand that the region codes are only useful if you are dealing with the hazardous material. We'll have a separate class on hazardous material.
Okay.
Now coming to the weights and units. So basically system is saying that the warehouse default weight unit will be kg. Okay.
Mhm.
So imagine you have 10 product in your company, and all 10 are having a different weight unit. Maybe it's a pound, kg, or any material. Okay, say example US we use mostly pound, correct? So what should be the default value? So suppose you want to do the capacity check or anything, like system is going to convert those weight unit in the kg.
Okay.
Okay, for a further calculation of warehouse calculation for capacity and others. So suppose I'm using a kg, it is fine. If I'm using a pound, system will convert pound into kg for their warehouse level calculations. So it says that in which weight unit we should default for the warehouse. So this is the kg. In the similar fashion, for a volume unit also we can have something like say maybe meter cube.
Okay.
So yeah.
One question, sorry. So in the material management level, so in the warehouse tab, so we are also mentioning that particular material, warehouse weight unit as well. So maybe one warehouse is contains in so many products. All those products, material master data level, one is in a kg, one is in a lb, one is in each, one is in a drum. Different we are maintaining. But ultimately, the stock will be calculated based on the kgs.
Correct. So whenever you are checking the capacity, performance, and other details, system will be able to convert all those things in a kg, and then it will use it.
Yeah. Okay. Because one warehouse can contain the multiple materials in the material master level also. In the warehouse tab, we have the option to maintain the weight unit as well for each and every product.
Okay. Yeah. Here you can see that he say that if you choose too small unit of weight or okay, forget about this. It's saying unit referring to the gross weight or net weight of the material. Okay, so whatever the unit you give as a net weight or gross weight in the material master, those will be converted with this reference. So here it's saying that like don't choose too small or too big one, because you may get a the conversion problem. Okay, but yeah, it is just to check the capacity by weight. Okay, you see here the third line, the capacity check by weight. Okay, so suppose you want a bin capacity check. and you say that like, the bin capacity should be 1000 kg, and your product is say 500 pound or 900 pound. So what system does is it will convert in a kg, and then with kg again it will compare. So that way it will be working for all the weight unit. Okay, and this is only for weight. Similar way we have a volume unit. Okay, so the default we are giving a meter cube. Okay, so this kind of things again, we just explain the functionality and business take decision, and they will ask you to put. Mostly it is very standard, like in the US you'll see pound, and in UK and India you'll see it's a kg.
Right.
Coming back to this first default unit of measure. So it says that, see, whenever we use a unit of measure, those unit of measure, like we maintain a lot of unit of measure, right? We maintain in a Metal Master as a base unit of measure, as an alternative unit of measure. In the WM Material Master view, we have something called unit of issue or WM unit of measure, like that. So system is telling, suppose unit of measure is missing in your, if you have already mentioned it is fine. If you have not mentioned, what should be the first default unit of measure?
Okay.
So if I say here it is WM unit of measure, that means WM unit of measure, system will go for that material WM view, and system search what you have mentioned as a WM unit of measure. There's a one field called WM unit of measure.
Right.
Okay, so this indicator will pull the details. Suppose it is also missing in the material master. Then what? Then system will go, and by default it will take the base unit of measure from basic data, and that is a mandatory field. Okay. In similar way, system is checking what should be the default second unit of measure. How we use, why we given this two? Sometimes when we write a logic, we just give, we just utilize this 2 unit of measure. We say that like, take the value from the second unit, default unit of measure, and do calculation for custom calculation. Otherwise, one is enough. The first one is enough, but SAP has given this 2 option. If I say A, means it is talking about unit of issue. Unit of issue is another field available in WM1 view, where we can have some another, unit of measure selection. For every material we can have a different one. Okay. See, this unit of measure is actually a very, very important field. Okay. So example, if I go here and I just check it. Yeah, so this is nothing but our base unit of measure. Any idea how we decide? Why a system is saying it's a base unit of measure? How we decide this?
The base unit of measure, basically the company, will what kind of units you are producing it. If it is a finished product, so on what unit you are producing it, that's how it will come as a base unit of measure.
Okay,
maybe,
so let me give you an example.
Okay.
Suppose you went for consulting. It's a water bottling plant, and 2 clients are fighting, and one guy is saying that it should be a milliliter, another is saying it should be liter. How are you going to convince them for a base unit of measure?
Okay. Milliliter, and another one is a liter. So
correct.
Yeah. It's the two small unit is also, I think the unit of measure will give us a problem. Base unit of measure. Yeah, actually, what I know is generally, that's how I know. How can I convince him? No idea. Whatever they say is, I'm right. Okay, we have to convince them. Yeah, it's a good question.
See, unit of measure everyone know, right? Like
Right.
basically we need to measure something and we have a unit. So IS in an international standard has given a list of unit of measure. Okay, we have
Right.
292 entries. So we have all the international unit of measure and we can add as many we want. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Now the English here is saying that the base, that means saying you can have a multiple unit of measure, but this will be always a base for calculation. So
Right.
it
Based
become
on
now
that.
base unit of measure.
Right.
That means the base unit of measure, we always say that what is the smallest stock keeping unit, SKU. Okay.
Okay.
So
Mm.
now I will go to their plant and I'll check out the way they store the product in their floor. The smallest one I could imagine I could see the pallets, I
Mm-hmm.
could see the cartons,
Right.
I could see individual bottles, but below the bottle I don't see. So maybe I'll say that it's neither ml nor liter, the your base unit of measure for this particular product, which is say 1 liter, 5 liter, 2 liter, half liter bottle. So there will be 5 ports and the base unit of measure should be a bottle.
Mm.
Okay.
Right.
uh, Now what is alternative unit of measure? So if you go to the
Addition.
additional data and you go to the unit of measure, the one common thing you can see is the base unit of measure is constant,
Right.
whereas the alternative unit of measure is getting changed. It's a each, then carton, then we can have a pallet. So imagine I'm going here and yeah, few fundamental things are very, very important for your consulting or your understanding. So, for example, if I'm going to put here palette and I'm saying it should be 30. So I could see here this system is not allowing me to change because this is the base for any kind of measurement for this material at the client level. I could see only material on the top, so it is at client level, and but here we can keep on change. So wherever you have a fixed conversion, okay, I'm using the word very carefully, fixed conversion, that we call as the alternative unit of measure.
Okay.
Okay, suppose you say that one pallet equal to, I should have a correct value. I
Mm.
should have very correct value, like it should be 30. If you say carton, it should be 18. So either you can enter the value, you can store the value manually. So any point of the time you're using any kind of unit of measure, system will always come here in this table and check it. Do we have any conversion? If yes, it will take the value from here. And that's an alternative unit of measure. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As I told you, it's a big, very big chapter. I mean, one of the project I did on unit of measure, it's extremely complex. If you see here your right hand side, you may discover something more. Okay, it's not mentioned. So there's something called batch specific unit of measure. Okay, there's something called catch weight management. Okay, so let's
Okay.
not go in that detail, but yeah, so, say for example, uh, imagine I want a 2 milligram vitamin C, uh, powder. Okay, for that, how many kg of oranges I need.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm having a conversion, but
Right.
can you put the fixed conversion? Maybe not, because it depends on the orange, the lot, the batch, what kind of batch you're getting, so you can do the prediction. So when you're going for a procurement,
Mm-hmm.
you maybe based on the different batch or different quality, you need to procure more and less. So when you go for a planning, so those kind of things we call as a batch specific unit of measure,
Okay.
where you will be having a 2 unit of measure. One is like say 1 kg orange,
Mm-hmm.
and then system will convert like 1 or 2 gram of vitamin see further. Okay, so that the batch specific unit of measure. Similar way, you see that like we have a catch weight. Suppose you asked me to Abhijit, I want 10 pieces of say chicken sauces. Okay, and one piece should be having a say 10 gram. So when you do the GR, your stock will go up by 10 pieces. And what should be the weight if you're talking about alternative? It will be 100 gram.
100. Yeah, 100 constant. Yeah.
Okay. Now, can we achieve in this world exactly 100 gram for 10 pieces?
No.
It's actually impossible. Sometime you may get 101, sometime you may get a 99.999999, right?
Right.
So if there's a difference in the weight and you want to catch those weight also to have a very very accurate planning, then we go with the two parallel unit of measure. Okay, because we wanted to catch that particular 0.111 gram of the product, so that picture it comes as a catch weight unit of measure.
Okay.
So this catch weight unit of measure is completely different, nowhere related to WM and MM. What we do is we need to just activate at the client level. Once you activate it, you can't deactivate. So in your SAP, in the basic data view, if you look at your basic data view, here one more field will be coming as a catch weight unit of measure. So basically you are getting a two different unit of measure. Now I may ask you a very basic question. If we have a piece and gram, this conversion. So here this is what? This is nothing but the base unit of measure.
Right.
This is nothing but the alternative unit of measure. Then how it is different? The difference is this is independent to each other. That's the biggest thing. That means the moment you do the GR or the moment you do the GI, system will give you the two filled options. System will tell you how many pieces you have collected, say 10 pieces. Then system will say that that it is expected as 100 gram, but what is the actual transactions you weighed? And you say 99.2 gram.
Okay.
So it is completely independent. So when you see the inventory, it will tell you the 99.2 gram or 10 pieces. In both unit of measure, it will be showing you. So now your planning will be very accurate. Based on the stats and all system, once you run MRP or any kind of planning, system know that like on an average for per piece how much you get it. So this we call as a catch improvement. So let's not deviate and quickly come back. Unit of measure is very very important. So in this screen, what SAP was telling that like what you would like to get the default unit of measure, and we just told them like first to pick up from WM unit of measure, and another one is the unit of issue. Yeah, see we have an order unit also. Where we have seen the order unit? Purchasing view of the material master, right?
Yeah, purchasing view. Yeah.
So if we go to say purchasing field, you can see the order unit. Okay, so you can see that even though this product is having base unit of measure as each, but you're telling that for this particular plant, if you order, the order should go in a carton. Okay, with that means at the plant level you may have a different order unit. So if you have order unit as a carton, means whenever I place a purchase order for this particular product for this plant, it will always go as a carton, because we have already mentioned to system. So if I go here and punch my material, say quantity, and plant as 1,000 and press enter, it automatically it should come as a carton. Okay. So if I go here and put View detail.
I think purchase info record they have not maintained it.
Yeah, so there's the info record, and that may have a different. Yeah, so
Yeah, it's a conversion quantity. Both are in each quantity conversion. If you see in there in this
correct.
field. Yeah,
So basically, since there's an info record, so it didn't pick up from the material master. That's fine. Okay, so that way it will go. Okay, we have something called time unit and performance data. The time unit and performance data means sometimes we calculate the performance of the warehouse. You know, maybe how many picking per hour, how many put away per hour, or you know. So here the time unit of performance data is a minute, or sorry, hour. So like that, you know, in which time unit you'd like to calculate your performance, whether you want to calculate as a in hours, day, yeah. So those default unit you can give. See, when you're doing the calculations, you can give there itself. That will take a priority. If you missed out any time related, you know, details there, the system will come and you know, it will take the default values, whatever you maintain at warehouse level. So example I've given here as a, you know, hour. So if you see, all the time unit will be only appearing here. You can see 24 time units are there, like days, hours, seconds, millisecond also. Okay, so it's better. I mean, very standard is like we put as a hour.
Okay.
You can see hour and days most of the place. Now we have a control data management. It's talking about R2 link is active. So you know, earlier, like we had a warehouse which was in a different box as a decentralized. So you know, we were fetching the data, or we were accessing those data, you know, as a R2 structure. That's very outdated. So now no use of having this field. But yeah, if you have data in some different SAP box and you wanted to link it, then we need to activate, and we need to take a, you know, basis support to get the access of that those database.
This is something like an SAP architecture, like now is it is an R by 3, R by 4. So that's how that is a field by architecture.
Yeah, correct. So it's very outdated. I mean, we were using some 14, 15 years back, not now. Okay.
Got it.
There's something called SU management active. So have you worked on handling unit?
Yes. We have this handling units as well. Yeah.
Okay. So just like a handling unit, or I can say the handling unit in WM, we call as a storage unit. Okay. So HU in warehouse we call as a SU. SU means storage unit. Okay. So if you want to have a storage unit management to work in your warehouse, you need to activate this switch from here at the warehouse level. This work as a kind of main switch. If this is not activated, the further, you know, the SU functionality will not work.
Right. Whenever you are creating the transport order, it will not create a SU.
Yeah. So it is like on the top, you know, if you're going for further configuration for SU, system will say that, you know, it is not at all activated at the warehouse. So below the warehouse, other functions or other configuration cannot be done.
Okay.
Okay. So this is very much important. Now coming back to blocking logic, the name itself says the blocking logic. You know, that means you're going to block some of the materials. So it says that, you know, whenever you're going and creating a transfer order, how you wanted to lock that material. Do you want to lock that material in an entire warehouse, which is the first option? So say example, if I'm having a material, say pen drive, and I'm going to create a transfer order So wherever in your warehouse pen drive is there, other cannot create the transfer order at same time. Okay. If you have a business case like that, you can see that SAP is suggesting B. Okay, so whatever you see in the ideas, that is the most recommended, but all options are given because it may happen. I mean, maybe it should not happen. You're creating a transfer order, and another is also creating manually transfer order. You should not have duplication, and it is happening again and again in your system, which is very critical, and you don't want. So you can just block. You can keep blank indicator. But generally you don't see that because it will be very harsh. The same material at the same time cannot be accessed for TO generation. Okay. If you put the A option, that means it will lock at the bin level, not at the entire warehouse level.
Okay.
So two guys for same material for available in the same bin cannot create the TO at the same time.
Okay.
And see, this kind of incident will happen rare of the rarest. I mean, maybe even though you give blank or A, you may not face difficulty ever because it will happen in millions. Million transaction over 2 million transaction one time. Because at the same time, some other guy is creating. And B is nothing but the maximum level of parallel processing. Okay, so we keep B, which will be independent. Two guys at the same time can create the TO for the same material, which may be in the same bin also is fine. It will allow you to create.
Okay.
Now coming to multiple processing. Okay, so name itself says multiple processing and partial picking. That means it is only applicable for your picking process. So whenever we place particular product, we call put away. Whenever we remove the product, we call picking. Okay, so it says only about the picking part, and it's talking about partial picking and for multiple processing. This is interesting, multiple processing for TR and delivery. So let me tell you first what is multiple processing in warehouse, because sometimes we assume multiple processing means the multitasking or something. That's a different thing. So imagine this is your warehouse. You have all the bins here. Now you have a sales order. You have a delivery. After sales order, we create delivery, and after the delivery, we create a transfer order to you.
Okay.
Now what I'm saying is, imagine you have a couple of sales order.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a sales order as a 1. So I got and I created a delivery as a 1. Now I got created a TO for 1. So these are the two sales order, and imagine the materials are same.
Okay.
So what we do is we create a sales order, we create a outbound delivery, we create a transfer order, and based on the transfer order, what we do is we give this printout to my operator. They will go and they will perform a picking operation. They will come here, they'll pick the product from suppose this bin. And then they will dump this product to your dispatch area.
Dispatch.
Once this they will dispatch, one guy comes here and check out. Suppose this is the truck, the vehicle.
Yeah.
Difficult to So the truck is there. Against the outbound delivery, I have given the list of all the transfer order. That guy came here, done the picking. This guy, what he does is, in the dispatch area, he will just compare against the outbound delivery, outbound OBD, outbound delivery, whether physically product available or not in the dispatch area.
Okay.
Once this guy say, yeah, it is available, this guy will confirm the picking. So as you say, the picking done in outbound delivery. Okay.
Picking one is nothing but it's not confirm the TO.
Correct. So basically, once you do the picking done, that is nothing but they are confirming the TO.
Okay.
See, what is confirmation of TO? What is said that picking means confirmation of TO. In this context, it is correct. But confirmation of TO is something. Suppose I have given you TO and I said, can you do the put away? The moment you're done with your job, you acknowledge, yes, I have done. That is nothing but the confirmation.
Right.
So this TO I given you for, not for put away, for picking. So you have done the picking, you dump the material here, and you said, I have done. Okay, so that TO confirmation done. So the moment you do the TO confirmation means picking will be done in your outbound delivery. Okay, now this guy will allow this product to load in this particular truck. Maybe this product has been loaded on this particular truck, and this guy will do the PGI, post good issue. That means this is my boundary line of my warehouse. Now legally my inventory went down, because I have done the issue. Till PGI, the inventory will be constant. The moment you do the PGI, so the moment you do the PGI, what happen is system will post a material document and financial document.
Right.
And your inventory will go down and it will ship to from your plant inventory to your in transit inventory.
Right.
Okay. So now the situation is, imagine this guy went here and came back and dumped the material here. And again, for the same materials, this guy is coming here and going to that bin and putting here. So imagine there's a 5 number and here it is say 6 number. Do you think this guy would have gone there and picked up directly 12 number and that will be easy, right? This guy will go here, that guy will pick 11 number and dump here and confirm both the TO at the same time. That will be easy. Okay, so that process, basically what we are doing, the warehouse movement optimization we are doing.
Okay.
So in this case, for 1 and 2 TO, maybe I'd like to create only 1 TO.
5 plus 6.
Yeah. So I created a one TO for 11 number. So this guy is not aware. I mean, say TO will always tell you how many quantity you need to pick, from where to pick and where to dump. That's it. Okay. So they don't care about other all the optimization or any kind of custom. They just see that there's a 1 TO and 11 number they need to pick, and this will mention from this bin. They will come here, they will pick, and they'll dump here. So in this case, what we do is, just before the dispatch area, we create one intermediate place where you can dump here, which is very near to them, maybe the packing table and all, and the 11 number, and then against the 2 different delivery, we just confirm the pick. Okay, so here we can save our time and effort, going in the same zone. And so since we are using more than one in this case, this two will not. I mean, this will be getting created at this stage. But what I'm trying to say is this: since we are going to combine two delivery and we are going to do the picking, this we call as a multiple processing in SAP WM language.
Okay.
Okay, a lot of people get confused. They don't understand the multiple processing. They think that
Okay.
it is more than.
So, I'm sorry. I have one question here. So in the sales order, you have the two different. Now you are making us two different deliveries into the one delivery, or two different deliveries into the one TO. Multiple
Yeah,
processing.
your second statement is correct.
Okay.
More than two delivery under one TO.
Okay.
Okay, let me. Is time out, so let me again go. Maybe you'll get some look and feel of the system. You can get more idea. See, we have one SD related transaction VL06.
All right.
So this is kind of cockpit, to monitor your traffic, outbound deliveries and inbound deliveries. So example, I'm going for a very specific, which is for picking. In a picking, I wanted to very specific only for WM picking. Okay, and for particular shipping point 1000 for these dates, maybe I'll give some wide windows.
Okay.
And I execute it. So maybe see here I'm getting a multiple delivery. So can we create by multiple delivery one TO? Yes, answer is here. You can just select the delivery and you can go and create the TO.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a multiple processing.
Okay.
So multiple processing can be done for multiple deliveries. In similar way, for TR also can be done. Okay, so now what system is telling you now how to go to that configuration menu quickly. The T code is OLML. Always remember one code, OLML, which is a direct configuration menu for logistic execution. Is a very famous. Every WM consultant must know this. Okay, OLML. No need to remember too many. Only one is enough. OLML will take you the logistic execution menu directly. Okay, and then you can go to your warehouse, and then you can go to your master data, and then define control parameters for warehouse. Here I'm going for our Narrain. Then I'm going to open this. So yeah, I think I had not saved. So basically, if you see the partial picking, it says that if you have a group of TR processing or group of delivery processing, partial picking is allowed or not. Okay. Now in our example, how many product you're supposed to pick? 11 numbers.
Right.
But imagine you got only 10 product here. And more than, basically if it is 10, it will not allow you to create TO.
Okay.
Okay, it will not allow you to create TO. But suppose there are only 10 and you're picking 10, and do you want to do the partial picking for two different delivery? Like this delivery is 5, so at least this delivery you can complete and another delivery can be partial. Okay. So how you wanted to proceed? So it says that the partial picking for multiple processing is allowed. If you select one, then you will be able to do that. Once you pull 10 number, then one you can do, and one can be partial. Or let's say that, and maybe there are customer who there are a couple of customer who ask the material. Is better to give 5 each instead of giving one complete and one nothing. Okay, maybe my business is like that, or maybe my business is very strict. If I either complete delivery or nothing. Okay, so Again, here the option you can see the SAP recommend is a blank, but it's not a hard and fast. So the first one is only for delivery, second is only for TR, third is partial picking allowed for both, and fourth is for nothing. Okay, so here partial picking is not allowed according to this system. No partial. If there is a 10, then only it will allow you to pick, else it will ask you to wait. I mean, it will be open, but you cannot create a partial and deliver. Okay. The last section is about notification and messages, which is talking about capacity check. So this is talking about I don't know, should be E, or I mean generally you see for error it's a E, but SAP has given as F.
Yeah.
But here system is talking about if you would like to go for a capacity check, and if you have done some configuration but you have missed out few dependent configuration or master data, in that situation, how you would like to get a notification from SAP? Whether you want a warning message or error message from SAP. That's a meaning of this particular segment. I'll give a very simple example. Say you're asking me to do the capacity check for the particular bin based on weight, right? Now, but you have not mentioned the weight of material in material master.
Right.
You have not maintained in the master data, but the configuration data, you clearly mentioned that I would like to get the capacity check based on weight.
Right.
It doesn't make much sense, because how SAP will calculate, because SAP doesn't know the weight of any product. So even though I know that the limit is 1000 kg, but I don't know the product weight. So in that case, what will happen is during transaction, during TO creation, SAP will give you a notification as an error or warning based on your selection.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
Similar way, if you have a batch management and you have missed out any batch related data, like say, suppose you have expiration date mandatory, have not mentioned, or whatever, system will give you the warning message and all. Okay, so that you can mention here. And the third one is the activity related data. Activity, again, like performance data. If you have mentioned like you want to do the performance check, but you have not mentioned the distance or the weight of the product or the user ID or some other dependent master data or configuration data, system will send you the notification. Okay, so this kind of detail, if you want, you can just maintain as a, mostly the standard is warning message, we maintain it. Not to hard stop any transactions. But yeah, it's fine to maintain with the error also, because if you have missed out any details, you will be getting a notification.
Yeah.
So that is about your control parameters of the warehouse, which is very important. And this all setting was done as a default setting at the warehouse level, where we have seen that, like how the partial picking, blocking logic, your default weight or volume unit, and then SU management is activated or not. Okay. Now, if you come back to a number range, you will be seeing that all the number range was copied because it was notified to us. So you can come here and you can quickly check for your warehouse. Your number range got copied for your TO, TR, quant, SU number, which is nothing but the handling unit number in warehouse. Okay, so all got copied. If you come here and you can see the number range for TRs, example TR, so you can see it is asking me warehouse number. What is the understanding here? The concept is TR is WM dependent. That means same TR number can repeat for multiple WM. Okay. So if I give for
number can repeat for multiple. Yeah, okay. Okay, got it. It's like a material document. Like a material document is based on the year. Am I right?
Correct. So here the warehouse number is nothing but the year, like you can compare. So here I could see there is nothing is there. Okay, so similar way, if you quick check for say TO, it's the same. Okay, maybe if you say TO number is 5, that doesn't make sense. If you say TO number is 5 for a particular warehouse, then it makes sense. Okay, but if you come to the storage unit, then I don't see any warehouse. What is the learning here? The learning is it is at the client level. It's a independent of warehouse. Okay, so some interval is going on. So it's kind of pallet number you're getting, which is a SU number. We call it the storage unit number. Okay, it's like some handling unit number in warehouse. Okay, so by looking at the design of look and feel and the design of the SAP, you can get a lot of concept, or you can make a guess. Say example, there is only one vendor field in purchase order. So by looking at the design, I can say we can have maximum one purchase order. I mean vendor in the PO. Okay, by the design, the plant is at the item level. That means we can have multiple plants in one PO.
Right.
Okay, so this is about your number range. We just checked out like the number range got copied, and for transportation and all, maybe we can just maintain this in Excel sheet and manually we can maintain in the another environment. That time during the cutover activities, we ask basis team to open a client for a particular number range object, and then you go and you maintain manually. And this is the standard SAP process for any module. Okay, so we'll stop it for today here. Okay. What we'll do is I think is you just have a look and feel of this this screen and little bit more, because first 7 to 8 class will go very, very slow. Okay. Because we have a lot of words which are very confusing, and you need to just fix in your mind like which will take time, 6 to 7 class. Once you are clear with 6 to 7 class, then you will go with fast speed. Okay. And basically what is my plan is like we'll go with the strategies, which is very, very important. All the put away strategies and all the picking strategies. Once you're clear with the strategies, your 50% concepts will be very clear. If you're going in a future EWM also, you will be you will be benefited. You will be having a lot of edge because the concepts are same about the strategies and few other structure. Okay, so maybe that will really helpful. So we'll go a little bit slow. We'll meet tomorrow. And
tomorrow, day after tomorrow.
Yeah, so we'll meet tomorrow at the same time, and we'll just keep it 1.5 hours. Okay. Today we just lost it half an hour because of this, so no problem. Okay, then thanks for joining. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, thanks. Abhi, one silly question, or I don't know. What is most of the people they are saying is a lean warehouse.
Yeah.
Can we discuss this tomorrow? If you're,
we'll discuss tomorrow. I'll just tell you tomorrow in detail. Maybe 1 minute will not be helpful, so I'll just give you a little bit idea. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.